Our story starts with this useless, talentless dumbass named Yu. A guy so painfully average scientists could use him as the control sample for average people. His mom, a literal legend. Beautiful, brilliant, world famous. Meanwhile, Yu inherited none of it. Not her talent, not her brains, not even her self-respect, just her face and his chronic failure. But thanks to mommy's legacy, he gets into Psycha Academy, the school of elites. Not because he earned it, but because he's basically a Nepo baby on easy mode. And what's the first thing this genius does? He walks straight into a boxing ring with the vice captain of the martial arts club, and immediately gets turned into floor decor. The crowd starts booing like he just ruined their favorite anime. They're calling him weak, pathetic, and a disgrace to his mom's legacy. Which honestly is pretty accurate. Everyone's asking how this sad sack of oxygen could possibly be the son of Sabera Ace, the woman who literally made perfection her brand. But Yu, our hero of delusion, starts hyping himself up, thinking about his late mom. Bad move. His opponent tries to motivate him by saying the school's 3 royals are watching, which is supposed to help, I guess. Yu then drops the line of the year. I've never trained a day in my life. Bro, we can tell. But since he's powered by blind optimism, he yells, I'm not my mother, and charges like he's about to unlock some secret bloodline ability. The crowd holds its breath, and then this idiot lands 2 soft punches that couldn't even dent a pillow. The vice captain just stares at him, says, you serious? Then slams him into the floor again. You just invented a new martial arts technique. Self-humiliation jutsu. Everyone's disappointed. Yu's used to it. He's been disappointing people since birth. But then, out of nowhere, he smirks and drops a line about how average people obsess over talent. Like, bro, you just got folded like laundry. Sit down. Still, the trainer notices something in Yu's eyes. The same fire his mother had. Translation. He's useless, but at least he looks determined while being useless. Before anyone can blink, the vice captain loses his patience and goes, fine, I'll beat the talent into you. Because genetics apparently work like punching bags now. He's about to end Yu's whole existence, when suddenly, boom, this orange-haired monster of a woman storms in and sends him flying like she's in a different show. That's Captain Nico, martial arts prodigy, ego enthusiast, and walking thunderstorm. The audience loses it. Then 2 more drama queens appear. Kazuki, the blue-haired actress whose fans sell out her shows faster than people lose brain cells on social media. Miwa, the green-haired shogi prodigy who peaked before she even hit puberty. These 3, the royals of Psycha, and they've come to inspect mommy's little failure. Kazuki asks the trainer how Sabera's son did. The trainer just laughs and calls you a mediocre noob. The royals instantly lose interest. They tell him to pack it up. No room for extras in their perfect little world. Yu, probably tired of being roasted in HD, just pulls out a paper and says he's joining the general education program instead. The royals stare like he just confessed to eating glue. None of them even knew that department existed. Before he can crawl away with what's left of his pride, the trainer makes him clean the dojo. Because apparently losers mop floors now. By evening, when Nico and her squad return, they freeze. The dojo's spotless. You might suck at fighting, but damn, he's a cleaning god. Man just soloed hygiene. Walking home, Yu starts reflecting on his life. He's never denied being a disappointment. He just wanted a little of the praise his mother used to get. But deep down, he knows the truth. She was a prodigy. He's just Yu, an average nobody living in the shadow of a legend. After that embarrassing mess at the academy, Yu goes full identity crisis mode. The guy tries every possible talent he can find. Painting, cooking, music, basically throwing spaghetti at the wall to see if anything sticks. Spoiler, it doesn't. All he's done is push himself even further away from his mom's legacy. There was this one drama she starred in. She played a simple housewife. Way below her league, but Yu and his mom loved it. And when she got hit with a terminal illness, that show became their escape. They'd talk about their favorite part, the family dinner at the end of every episode. That was the first time in years she opened up to him. That's when you finally got it. She didn't care about fame or talent. She just wanted something simple, a family that actually felt like one. A warm, happy home. But of course, life hates happy endings. Not long after that, she passes away. Her last words? Go find yourself a family. Basically, don't die alone like me, idiot. So Yu packs his stuff, wipes his tears, and decides to make her wish come true. His destination, the Mikadono mansion. The owner, some rich dude who knew his mom, sends him the keys with a note saying, come by anytime, which sounds sweet and mildly suspicious. Anyway, Yu steps inside and immediately loses his mind. The place is massive. He's wandering around like a kid in Disneyland wondering, who the hell even is this Mikadono guy? Just as he sits down to unpack, the front door slams open. Enter Nico, in full combat mode. Yu's trying to explain, but mid-rant, she slips and falls down looking like she's ready to take back shots. Yu just stands there, looks down at her, and, being the absolute menace he is, says, guess even prodigies hit the floor sometimes, then throws a towel on her like he's doing charity work. Cold-blooded. Before she can explode, Kazuki and Miwa show up. They see Yu and instantly assume he's some house thief. while Nico keeps yelling burglar, like a broken alarm. You still trying to make sense of why these three royals are living here when his phone rings. It's Micadono himself. The man casually asks if you found the place okay, and then drops the lore bomb. Yu's mom wasn't just his friend, she was his benefactor. And now, he's returning the favor. Oh, and small detail, he's got 3 daughters. You know, the 3 women currently ready to murder you. Before hanging up, the guy just says, get along with them. Yeah, thanks for the setup, old man. You turns to the girls, remembering his mother's dying wish. If she wanted him to find a family, then maybe this chaos is fate. 3 gifted girls, 1 lonely idiot. What could go wrong? To you, it sounds like a dream come true. Living with 3 talented beauties? Heaven. To them, it's a nightmare. They look about as excited as people forced into a group project with a class failure. Still, Yu pulls himself together, introduces himself properly, and tries to break the ice. But then he notices something terrifying. The mansion is a disaster zone. Dishes everywhere. Laundry piled up like a mountain. The floor looks like it hasn't been cleaned since the Edo period. Kazuki was supposed to handle the dishes, but apparently, she broke every single one and gave up. Miwa and Nico were in charge of laundry and cleaning, but judging from the mess, they clearly need maids for themselves. Yu points all this out, roasting them where it hurts. The girls panic and instantly go on the offensive, reminding him of his tragic 45 on the aptitude test. Yu just smirks and corrects them. It was 42, actually. While the 4 of them argue like idiots, something magical happens. The place suddenly starts sparkling. The dishes? Clean. The floor? Shining. The air? Crisp. Turns out, while they were busy bickering, Yu had quietly activated his true power, extreme cleaning. Man turned the mansion into a 5-star hotel in under an hour. Forget combat power levels. This dude's got hygiene stats off the charts. Next morning, Yu wakes up ready to bond with the girls over breakfast. No school today, perfect time to build family vibes. But just as he stretches and yawns, boom, the ground shakes like there's an earthquake. He rushes downstairs, thinking the world's ending, only to find Nico, casually splitting tiles with her bare hands in her personal dojo. After witnessing Nico casually commit floor homicide with her fists, Yu goes to check on the other geniuses in this madhouse. First stop, Miwa. She's playing shogi against an AI, and losing. The two are literally arguing like a married couple. Meanwhile, Kazuki looks like she's running a drug lab in the kitchen. She's tossing random ingredients into a blender, mumbling formulas, and somehow invents a milkshake that looks like it could qualify as biological warfare. Yu asks, what exactly are you doing? And Kazuki doesn't even blink. She tells him it's just their morning routine, like normal people brush their teeth, and psychos like her summon demons with dairy. Trying to keep some order, Yu suggests they all have dinner together. But the eldest Micadono daughter basically tells him to play maid. He's in charge of the house since they're all busy with their elite schedules. Fine. He turns to Miwa, hoping maybe she'll join him for breakfast. No, she's already chugging juice like it's rocket fuel. Girls clearly try and power her brain with sugar and spite. So, there he is, the non-prodigy in a house full of geniuses, just standing there in the world's fanciest kitchen, realizing he's right back where he started. Just like when his mom only ever cooked for herself. History really said copy and paste. He starts wondering how someone could fail to connect with his own family and still think he could pull that off with strangers. But before he can drown in self-pity, Nico walks in. She stares at the breakfast like it's the final boss in her diet plan. You can see her soul leave her body as she tries to resist the smell. Still, she crosses her arms and goes. It's an unbalanced meal. Too many carbs. Not enough protein. Yu, being the petty gremlin he is, starts licking the food just to tempt her. She freaks out, ranting about lipids, vitamin B, and her 20 grams of missing protein. Bro, she's basically doing math homework over scrambled eggs. You can't believe people like this exist. People who need a calculator to eat. Nico fires back, saying that controlling her diet is part of her training. And that, apparently, makes it noble. Sure, whatever helps you sleep at night, protein princess. As the girls rush out for their packed schedules, Yu watches them from the doorway. He remembers how his mom used to do the same thing. Always too busy, always chasing something unreachable. Just when they reach the gate, Yu appears behind them like a horror movie jump scare and says, "You forgot something." Instantly, all 3 girls panic, checking their bags like they lost the Holy Grail. But no, he just smiles and says, "Have a good day." They freeze. For a moment, it's awkward silence, then blushes. They stomp off pretending it's no big deal, but yeah, they're low-key flustered. The guy might be useless, but apparently, politeness is his ultimate move. Meanwhile, Yu goes back inside to do the dishes, again, because that's his new full-time job now. Halfway through scrubbing, his phone rings. It's Mr. Micadono, the mysterious absentee landlord. The man tells him he'll be gone for a while due to business responsibilities. Translation: he's ditching you with 3 ticking time bombs. Before hanging up, the guy asks a favor, to support his daughters while they face their upcoming challenges. According to him, just being there will help them open up. His future father-in-law breaks down the situation. Each sister's got a personal boss battle coming up. Kazuki's prepping for an audition, Nico's gunning for the top spot in Karate Nationals, and Miwa's defending her shogi title. Hearing that helping them means higher odds of finally smashing, Yu instantly hangs up and starts planning world domination. Then reality hits. What the hell can a guy built like a chihuahua with the brain power of a toaster actually do to help geniuses who treat weekends like a myth? That's when it clicks. If they fail, they'll be branded losers just like him. And he's not letting that happen. Not on his watch. So he swears to support them until they make it. Or until he dies from secondhand embarrassment trying. Yu starts his plan by learning about each sister and winning their hearts with wholesome family dinners. As the sun sets, Nico drags herself home from training, looking like her soul's been mugged. Then she remembers she's got a manservant living under the same roof. Her heart does a triple beat combo. Meanwhile, Yu's in the kitchen, tasting soup straight from the pot with dramatic flair. Nico stares, flustered. He offers her a taste, but she shrugs him off, saying she doesn't need his extra creamy stuff since she brought her own. She finishes her bath, steps out glowing, and finds the idiot cooking with the intensity of a Michelin chef on steroids. The smell alone could wake the dead. He's been studying recipe books non-stop, memorizing every detail like he's preparing for the Culinary Olympics. Watching him grind this hard after she dismissed him earlier starts getting under her skin. Then Miwa strolls in. Yu proudly announces his masterpiece like he's unveiling art. The girls exchange looks, clearly not impressed. Nico remembers their old private chef, who made fancy 5-star meals that look great but lack nutrition. She's all about efficiency, not flavor. Fast forward to that night. Nico's holed up in her room, devouring Taco Bell like it's a coping mechanism. Eventually, curiosity wins. She sneaks into the kitchen, finds a beautiful dinner on the table, and just as she's about to dig in, Yu pops out of nowhere and ambushes her with a full nutrition lecture. He starts listing vitamins, minerals, protein content, and his secret sauce, with the energy of a man who's been awake for 30 hours. Nico admits defeat. Yu collapses, completely drained from consulting a dietitian all day to make the perfect meal. Seeing that, Nico actually blushes for once and sits down to eat. One bite in, and she mutters that he should tell the chef she's impressed. He starts to wonder if he can really tame her through food, or if he's just domesticated himself. Miwa smells the feast from upstairs and sneaks down for a bite, but Yu catches her mid-sneak and hits her with another wave of nutritional facts until she gives up and joins the table. When she finds out he customized her portion too, Nico's respect for him spikes. The sisters start teasing each other. Nico calls Miwa built like a dictionary. Miwa fires back saying at least her weight goes to her brain. Just when things feel wholesome, Kazuki walks in and looks disgusted. Actual horror, at the sight of her sisters eating together like some normal family. Yu sidles up with his usual confidence, offering her brown rice packed with B12 and a salmon marinade that could fix her skin and her depression. She almost falls for it, but recovers fast and tells him to keep his peasant food away. Nico defends him, but Kazuki insists that eating at the same table as commoners isn't her style. Yu's dignity dies instantly. Seeing his face drop, Nico grabs his plate and eats to cheer him up. He immediately ruins it by warning her she'll turn to a stuffed toy if she keeps stealing extra servings. Nico almost explodes. Miwa can't tell if he wants them to eat or not. Then Yu calmly says it's his job to monitor everything that goes into or out of their bodies. The words hang there. Nico malfunctions. 3 days later, Kazuki still refuses to eat anything he makes. Remembering her father's orders, Yu activates full strategist mode. Plan A begins. At school, Kazuki's surrounded by her fan club, girls worshipping her like a celebrity. Yu approaches with a friendly wave. The crowd immediately recognizes him as the local loser and starts whispering. Kazuki tells him to disappear before he pollutes her aura. Yu calls her a meanie and says he spent all night preparing something only he can give her. Everyone's jaw drops. She yells that he's misleading people, which somehow makes it sound worse. The girls bombard her with questions while Yu escapes the chaos. Later, he teams up with Nico to strategize. He learns how much the karate club depends on Kazuki. But when Kazuki sees him again, all she remembers is his public humiliation attempt. Her fans glare daggers. She tells him to scram before she snaps his neck. He gets the message. His last hope is Miwa. Miwa's busy playing shogi on her phone when she hears her classmates struggling over an easy question. She calls them brain dead and goes back to her game. They leave immediately. Yu enters, try to play it cool. He invites her to lunch. She tells him to vanish. He follows anyway. Eventually she laughs. The first time she's looked human all day. They both collapse from exhaustion after running around like idiots. He tells her she seems like the quiet kid in class. She admits it's hard to relate to people since she's basically royalty. He says same here, because he's royally short, royally dumb, and royally unemployed. She stares, confused but amused. He tries giving her a motivational speech about embracing her differences, but forgets mid-sentence what his point was. Miwa sighs, calls him an idiot, then corrects herself. Her idiot. Over lunch, Yu says he's trying to figure out how to win Kazuki over because he's running out of options. Miwa finally opens up. She tells you that when she was 3, she saw her sister glowing with joy because their mom made a meal just for her. That's the only detail she remembers. Yu's stunned. Not by the memory, but by the fact that she remembers anything. His brain resets every 5 minutes. Still, that tiny clue gets his gears turning. He jumps back into the kitchen and starts theorizing what dishes their mom might have made back then. Just when he's narrowing it down, Kazuki walks in, looking like a ghost who's lost the will to haunt. He asks her a question, and she immediately collapses. Fever. Later, in her room, Kazuki insists it's nothing, but Miwa burns her hand, just checking her forehead, and Nico's struggling to slap a cooling pad on her while the stubborn princess keeps fighting them off. Then Yu strolls in with a bowl of porridge, trying to play nurse. She snaps, throws everyone out, ends up crying quietly, frustrated at her own weakness. Yu pieces it together. She knows she's fragile and still pushes herself every day. So he leaves the porridge by her door. She sends it back. The next night, same thing. So he storms into her room, gets chewed out, and doesn't move an inch. When she tries to kick him out, her legs give up. He just stands there, ready to catch her. "Why won't you just leave me alone?" she asks. "Because I don't want you missing rehearsals," he says. "If you can't go, I'll teach you myself." Kazuki stares at him like he just claimed to be Jesus. He brags that he debuted at age 2 and technically outranks her as her senpai by 4 years. She calls him delusional, but humors him. They go over her script. Yu playing the princess, Kazuki the prince. The first line out of his mouth is so stiff, it could hold up a bookshelf. She slams the door before he even finishes. He yells through the door that he was just warming up, then admits his mom used to drag him to auditions. He failed every single one. That hits a nerve. Kazuki tells him he'll never understand what real hard work feels like and kicks him out for good. He comes back the next day anyway. Rejected again. Third day, back again, 10 practice runs deep, and still acts like a dying NPC. Her patience finally detonates. She tells him to quit pestering her. He sighs and says fine, he'll stop. But when she hears him later that night, still practicing alone in the living room, she can't help but smile. The guy really doesn't know how to quit. Next morning, his acting's still bad. Somehow worse. But she decides to play along this time. And something clicks. For the first time, Yu's performance actually lands. He tears up midline, saying he finally made his mom proud after 14 years of failing. For once, Kazuki isn't annoyed. She's happy. She tells him she'll let a peasant like him serve her a meal, but on one condition. He perks up. What's the catch? She fidgets, blushing hard, then rattles off a long list of ingredients she refuses to eat. Yu realizes what she's trying to hide. The great Kazuki, perfection incarnate, is a massive picky eater. The next day, Miwa and Nico have synchronized seizures watching Kazuki calmly enjoy Yu's cooking like it's a gourmet meal. They're convinced the apocalypse is near. When Yu praises Kazuki for finishing her soup, she shrugs that she'll eat anything that doesn't have carrots. He leans in and whispers, "Joke's on you. I shredded them in." Kazuki freezes mid-bite while he walks off like a smug villain. For once, Yu finally breathes. He actually got them hooked on his food. A small, dumb victory, but it feels good. The next morning kills the mood fast. The sisters tell him they won't need him today. They'll be out training. He forces a smile and wishes them luck, feeling like a divorced house husband. It stings more than it should. Same feeling he had when his mom disappeared for work months at a time. Staring out the window, he remembers her last note from the hospital. "I hope you have a happy family someday." The words hit like a ghost. What does happy family even mean? He binges his mom's old drama. 6 whole seasons of fake smiles and scripted hugs. The wedding scene hits hardest. That version of her got a perfect ending. The real one didn't. When the sisters get back, Miwa complains she's exhausted like she just mined coal. They find you crying at the TV. Miwa assumes it's another cheesy family show. But when Kazuki spots his mom's face on screen, she finally gets it. He's just a lonely kid pretending everything's fine. Trying to act mature, she tells him he doesn't need to work himself to death just to feel like part of a family. Miwa agrees. Then Nico, being Nico, calls him a freeloader anyway. Yu snaps. He says he only works so hard because he wasted his chance to bond with his mom. And he's not making that mistake again. He wants to connect with them for real. That's when everything implodes. The moment he says, "happy family," all 3 girls recoil like he just summoned a demon. Nico mutters that happy families only exist on TV. Kazuki smirks and plays along, asking what he means by family. The TV couple kisses. The timing is cursed. Yu points at Nico and declares she's the one he'll start with. Everyone freezes. Then he says they should at least know each other's birthdays, and the girls collectively short-circuit before kicking him back to the trash tier of the household. Later, Nico's in the bath, trying not to think about that whole mess, until Yu's scream echoes from the kitchen. She runs out half-wrapped in a towel, thinking there's a burglar. Turns out, he's just sobbing over an empty bread bag. She yells at him to grow up, then realizes she's practically naked and bolts, colliding with Miwa. Her older sister immediately clocks how red she is and starts analyzing her like a lab experiment. Yu walks in with towels, and the second his hand brushes hers, Miwa's brain melts. She bullies him just to hide it, while Nico panics that her sister might also have a crush on the idiot. That single word, also, sparks a family war. Kazuki eventually steps in, acting all cool until Yu smiles and thanks her. The mask cracks instantly. Her sisters call her out for blushing, and within seconds, the room turns into a chaos pit of denial, insults, and hormonal disaster. Yu finally snaps and yells that they're supposed to be family, not rivals. They just stare at him in dead silence, pure disappointment. After they storm off, he sighs and cleans up their mess alone. He catches a glimpse of a childhood photo of his sisters, 3 tiny kids smiling under a cherry blossom tree. For a moment, he sees what a happy family might have looked like. He wishes he could take a new one, but when he brings it up, all 3 slam their doors shut. Still, the detective spark lights in his brain. If one of them kept that photo, maybe deep down, they do miss those days. The next morning, they're gone, off to their tournaments across the country. He does some digging and finds all their event locations. By nightfall, he's already scheming again. When the girls realize he booked their hotels for them, they're suspicious. He smugly hands them maps to a 5-star spot, playing the gentleman card. Miwa complains about the food, Nico rolls her eyes, and Yu smirks. Guess I'll just come along then. At the tournament, Miwa wipes the floor with her opponent in under a minute, then heads outboard, until a blooming field of cherry blossoms stops her in her tracks. Childhood memories flood back. She returns to the hotel, only to find Kazuki disguised at the counter. They're arguing when Nico walks in too. Shock, realization, rage. Yu strolls in, all grins, announcing he accidentally booked them into the same room so they could bond. They call him every synonym of moron imaginable, but he doesn't care. He's on a mission. He wants that family photo. He pitches a trip to the local shrine for luck. Nico calls it stupid, but Yu mentions the seafood. Kazuki instantly caves, fine, for the gram. At the kimono shop, Kazuki looks regal in a mature design. Miwa picks a cute one to match her bubbly side. Nico stays seated, arms crossed, refusing to try anything. The shopkeeper suggests something elegant for her, but Nico flashes back to when her father banned her from wearing girly clothes. She shuts down, until Yu walks over with a pink kimono that glows with quiet sweetness. He says, softly, "It's perfect. You're the cutest girl I know." Nico freezes for a moment, the compliment hitting harder than she wants to admit. She grabs both kimonos and disappears into the changing room. When she steps out with her hair tied up, the room stops breathing. Even her sisters can't believe what they're seeing. Nico's usual sharpness is gone, replaced by a quiet, effortless beauty that leaves all 3 of them speechless. Alright, so the unconventional family heads out to enjoy the festival. Everything seems chill at first, but before anyone can even grab a snack, the crowd suddenly recognizes Kazuki. And yeah, chaos breaks out. Fans start rushing in like it's a concert, all desperate for a photo or autograph. You were hoping this trip would bring the sisters closer, but it's already looking rough. Kazuki's clearly switched into celebrity mode. While her sisters are busy enjoying festival food, she just watches from the side, feeling a bit nostalgic before shaking it off. Nearby, this random girl who doesn't care at all about Kazuki ends up tripping when her sandal breaks. And just before she faceplants, Kazuki swoops in and catches her. Total hero moment. Even the people who weren't fans before are now impressed. Meanwhile, Yu's struggling to keep track of Kazuki in the crowd. After she helps the girl and starts walking again, with a trail of fangirls following, of course, someone suddenly shoves her into the bushes. She's ready to throw hands, thinking it's a kidnapper, but turns out it's just our boy Yu. The moment's tense. Kazuki's fuming, but before she can go off, Yu calmly shuts her down and offers her food, telling her to just enjoy the festival for once. Of course, she argues, pretending she can't just be bribed with food. But Yu's not giving up. He notices she hurt her foot earlier and starts wrapping it up, telling her that she doesn't need to live up to anyone's expectations. She just needs to be herself. Kazuki goes quiet, blushing like a confused middle schooler while he finishes bandaging her foot. Elsewhere, Nico and Miwa are trying to make the most of the day. But Nico, yeah, she's hilariously bad at festival games. She can't catch a single fish, flailing around like she's never held net before. Just then, both sisters freeze. Kazuki's walking over, now wearing a suspicious mask that you somehow convinced her to put on for disguise. You suggest a little match. He teams up with Kazuki, while Nico and Miwa form the other side. Nico immediately teases her sister, saying she should wear that creepy smiley mask more often since her real face always looks scary. Kazuki just smiles under the mask, and the game begins. Yu scores first. Then Miwa accuses her sister of cheating since she hasn't even chipped her fish yet. The whole thing turns into a sibling brawl, and Yu just steps back, thinking, yep, perfect bonding moment. While they're arguing, Yu gets distracted by another event happening nearby. A challenge where people have to hop across lotus platforms to reach a shrine gate. The prize? Supposedly a huge dose of good luck, and a selfie with the shrine's golden guardian. The host even claims setting it as your phone wallpaper boosts your luck, which sounds sketchy, but okay. You notices an old festival photo of the sisters from the same event. Apparently, they once won it. Inspired, he decides to give it a shot himself. But this game? It's brutal. The platforms keep sinking as people step on them, making it a full-on live-action version of Fall Guys. Nobody's cleared it for 10 years. The last winners were the three prodigy sisters themselves. When it's Yu's turn, he immediately falls in. Total wipeout. Most people would quit, but not him. He keeps going again and again, even as night falls and the rain pours down. The hosts eventually tell him to give up, saying it's all about luck anyway. But Yu remembers how the sisters once moved perfectly in sync during their win, and that memory pushes him to keep going. Finally, he makes it to the gate. The crowd cheers. The hosts invite him to take the selfie, but instead he bolts off, yelling that he needs to grab someone first. Unfortunately, by the time he finds the sisters, the festival's shutting down because of the rain. Exhausted and muddy, Yu collapses, thinking he's failed again. Then, out of nowhere, the three sisters appear with umbrellas. They ask why he didn't come back and why he's soaked. Yu admits he thought they ditched him, but they assure him they're not that heartless. They call him their festival conductor and let him share their umbrella as they all head back. Miwa wins the right to share with him after a quick game of rock, paper, scissors. Back at the hotel, everyone's warm and dry again. The girls check on Yu, who's half dead on the couch, and find out he forgot to book himself a room. He says he'll just crash at a cafe, but Kazuki stops him and insists he stay with them. After a bit of bickering, they agree. There's no way they're letting the guy who helped them freeze outside. Only problem, no robe. You forgot that too. After some awkward silence, he spots an extra one, grabs it, and runs off to shower. He yells from the bathroom, telling them to just forget he exists and go to sleep. Later that night, everyone's in bed, but the sisters can't sleep. Their hearts are racing, and they don't even know why. Then the story flashes back to show that Yu actually did succeed in recreating the photo with the statue, though he messed up and made everyone laugh in the process. In the present, Yu checks his bag but can't find the old photo. Just a note saying someone took it back. He smiles, knowing it's where it belongs, and falls asleep right away. The sisters, meanwhile, sit up quietly, talking about old memories and realizing how much they've missed moments like this. Miwa eventually looks at both the old and new photos and smiles, calling Yu a lovable idiot for going through all that trouble just to get them together again. The sisters silently thank him in their hearts before finally falling asleep. The next morning, Yu checks the news and sees headlines praising the three prodigies for their amazing results, despite the fact that they spend the whole night just goofing off. The next day, Yu's in class, but instead of listening, he's daydreaming about cooking dinner for the three Mikadono sisters. The guy's basically romanticizing being a house husband at this point. After school, he goes all out, spends a day shopping for ingredients, and heads to the mansion by sunset. But when he gets there, something's off. The sisters are already home, and there's a pair of shoes at the door that he doesn't recognize. He walks in and sees the sisters standing stiff in front of a man sitting on the sofa. The whole room feels tense, like they just got caught doing something bad. Yu quickly realizes who the man is. Mr. Mikadono, the sister's father. Mr. Mikadono gives Yu his condolences about his mother, then immediately adds that her talent will live on through him. No pressure, right? Yu's just standing there thinking, bro, I can barely make dinner chill. Then the dad turns to his daughters like a drill sergeant. He asks Kazuki for her performance report. She explains her tight schedule and upcoming interview. Nico brags about winning championships like it's no big deal. Miwa also gives a perfect report. Everything seems fine, until he tries to say something, and Mr. Mikadono suddenly stands up. He says the reports are done and starts to leave. Yu, trying to be polite, asks if he wants to join them for dinner. But instead of answering, the man walks over to a festival mask nearby. Yu explains they went to a festival over the weekend, and that's when the trouble starts. Mr. Mikadono turns serious and asks whose idea it was. Yu proudly admits it was his, saying it brought the sisters closer. But the father isn't impressed. He lifts the mask, scolds Yu for interfering, and crushes it right in front of everyone. Then he absolutely roasts Yu, calling him useless, talentless, and saying people like him have no place in his home. As he grabs Yu by the shoulder, the sisters finally snap. They defend Yu, saying he handles everything, cooking, cleaning, all of it, so they can focus on their work. Kazuki adds that their success depends on him, but their father doesn't care. He coldly says there's no room in the family for socializing, and forbids them from going to any more festivals. Then he just walks out. Yu quietly asks if they'll still join him for dinner, but Nico apologizes, saying they don't have time anymore. Brutal. A week passes, and everything feels empty again. The sisters are back to their strict routines, and Yu finally understands how harsh their upbringing really was. Nico stays late at the club, Kazuki can't stand her boring smoothies, and Miwa doesn't even enjoy her snacks. Meanwhile, Yu's miserable too, missing the warmth they once had. He remembers his mom's show about a happy family and decides, yeah, he wants to build something like that himself. The next morning, the sisters notice Yu isn't there to greet them like usual, and it hits them harder than they expected. Later at school, Each of them opens their bags and finds a homemade lunch you secretly packed. They all blush like crazy. When Nico's friends ask if they can have it, she refuses instantly. Meanwhile, Yu's passed out at his desk after waking up at 4 a.m. to make those lunches. When he later sees the empty boxes, he smiles. That evening, the sisters call him over for serious talk. They tell him they want to form a co-stewardship with him. Yu, being clueless, thinks they're talking about ships, but they mean teamwork. Their father warned them Yu would be kicked out unless he proved himself, so they want to help each other out. Yu gets fired up and promises to keep cooking for them because they're family, but the girls quickly correct him. He's just their supporter. The next day, before they leave, Yu hands them their lunches again. Kazuki says they'll be back by 7 p.m. for dinner. As they walk out, Yu wishes them good luck, and for some reason, that simple line makes all three of them blush. Later during practice, Kazuki awkwardly tries to act feminine while wearing a wig but gets scared half to death by two women who suddenly appear. Nico gets a call from her returning trainer, and Miwa's coach reminds her she'll soon need to choose her own path. When they all get home that night, they find Yu clumsily experimenting with new recipes, talking about udon and wheat flour like he's a health influencer. He slips, crashes, and hurts himself, making them laugh before they all sit down for dinner. They joke that the food tastes kind of average tonight, but somehow, it feels comforting, something their father would have hated. Later, Kazuki helps Yu with the dishes, saying she's working on her feminine side. He tells her that washing plates doesn't really make someone feminine, but she insists anyway. Then she freaks out when he asks about her audition. Turns out she's nervous about playing a feminine role for the first time. She notices his bandaged hands, and he admits he burns himself a lot while cooking. Then, out of nowhere, Yu slips, gets a nosebleed, and Kazuki falls right on top of him, almost kissing him. She quickly gets up, embarrassed, but brushes it off as an accident. Yu's mortified, realizing his first kiss basically tasted like blood. Later, Kazuki keeps getting reminded of that moment. Miwa even compares her jelly dessert to soft lips, which makes Kazuki slam her cup and storm off. Yu walks in on her by accident and tries to clear things up, saying she probably doesn't want her first kiss wasted on someone like him. That just makes her angrier. But later during practice, she realizes he might be right. She needs to stay focused on her role. Still, the next time they meet, Kazuki admits her training's been rough and asks Yu to make stamina-boosting meals for her. Then she suddenly asks if he's free on Sunday. When he says yes, she looks him dead in the eye and tells him she wants to go on a date. But that's where the video ends. Don't forget to like and subscribe, so Sage can make more juicy anime recaps. Peace out.